Have you ever wondered who you want by your side if the Raccoon City outbreak was actually real? Not just a sidekick, but the one person who could actually keep you alive with the tyrant breathing down your neck. In this video, we're putting the women of Resident Evil to the ultimate test. We're breaking down their skills, their experience, and their biggest wins to find out who truly has the best chance for survival. Get ready, because we're about to rank every major female character using our very own herbal survival system. Let's dive in. Most of us know by now that there's only 3 main colors for the herbs: red, blue, and green. Most of these can be used by themselves, but if they're mixed together, they can create a very powerful mix. This system awards herbs based on a character's skills, experiences, and accomplishments. Green herbs will represent foundational skills and training. If they have any government or military training, it's a +1 green herb. If they have any specialized expertise, such as medical knowledge, that will also be a +1 green herb. Blue herbs will represent resilience and overcoming adversity. Physical or psychological endurance, as well as significant character development, is a +1 blue herb. And last but not least, red herbs will represent the impact and achievements. A +1 red herb will be awarded to defeating a main antagonist or super tyrant, as well as resolving a major outbreak. Before we jump into talking about each character, if you're liking the video so far, if you could like the video, I'd really appreciate it. And also subscribe for more Resident Evil content. Let's all be honest here, Ashley wasn't really that much of a help in Resident Evil 4. With no combat experience, she must rely on her wits and the help of others to survive against a fanatical cult and escape a horrifying situation. She has no formal training, but she did show some basic survival instincts and the ability to follow instructions under extreme pressure. For that, she gets 1 green herb. Moria Burton, hopefully I'm saying that right, is a supporting character in Resident Evil Revelations 2, and the eldest daughter of original STARS member Barry Burton. She works for a non-governmental organization, TerraSave, an anti-bioterrorism group. She is taken to a deserted island after an attack at a TerraSave party, where she is infected by the T-Phobos virus, which is activated by fear. Because of a past trauma event involving a firearm, Moira has a great fear of guns. As a result, she doesn't use firearms through most of the game, instead relying on a flashlight to blind enemies and a crowbar for close-range combat. While not formally trained, she learns to survive and use a firearm after being stranded on an island. For that, she gets 1 green herb. She's also receiving a blue herb for overcoming her fear of guns and traumatic past to help save Claire and her father in Resident Evil Revelations 2. Elena is a US government agent and co-protagonist for Resident Evil 6. She was an agent for the Division of Security Operations, DSO, and later joined the US Secret Service to become a personal bodyguard for the President Adam Benford. Elena receives 1 green herb because she has formal training as a US Secret Service agent. She also receives 1 blue herb for showing great physical endurance by continuing her mission after the loss of her sister. And lastly, receives a red herb for being instrumental in taking down Derek Simmons and resolving a C virus outbreak. Sherry Birkin is a character who first appears as a child in Resident Evil 2 and returns as an adult in Resident Evil 6. As a child in Resident Evil 2, Sherry is a young, quiet girl who gets caught in the middle of the Raccoon City outbreak. She is pursued by her mutated father, who, after infecting himself with the G virus, implants an embryo in her. She is found by Claire Redfield and Leon Kennedy, who protect and eventually save her life with the vaccine. After the Raccoon City incident, Sherry is taken into custody of the US government. Leon agrees to become a government agent in exchange for her protection. Although she is safe from outside harm, she is held captive for over a decade, with her files stating that she was considered an important specimen due to the G virus remaining in her system. As an adult, following the death of Albert Wesker in 2009, Sherry is released from her protective custody under the condition that she becomes a government agent herself. She is recruited into the Division of Security Operations, DSO, and is tasked with finding a mercenary named Jake Mueller, who is believed to possess a special blood type that could create a cure for the new C virus. As an adult, Sherry has unique regenerative abilities from her past infection, allowing her to heal from injuries and making her resistance to the virus. Sherry receives 1 green herb as she received government training and now works for the US government. Along with the green herb, she is also going to receive a blue herb for her regenerative abilities from being affected by the G virus. And lastly, she is also going to receive a red herb, as she was instrumental in resolving the C virus outbreak in Resident Evil 6. Sheva Oldmar is a character introduced in Resident Evil 5, who serves as a co-protagonist alongside Chris Redfield. Her background is deeply tied to the history of bioterrorism and the Umbrellas Corporation activities in Africa. When Sheva was 15, she was contacted by US operatives and helped them stop a deal between the guerrilla group and Umbrella. For her cooperation, she was offered a chance to start a new life in America. She accepted it, and after proving to be highly intelligent and a fast learner, she was recruited into the newly formed Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance, BSAA. Sheva receives 2 green herbs, 1 for her formal training as a BSAA agent and 1 for her background in guerrilla tactics. She's also receiving a blue herb, as she has demonstrated strong physical endurance while partnered with Chris Redfield. And lastly, she receives 1 red herb, as she was a key player in defeating Albert Albert Wesker. Claire Redfield is a main character in the Resident Evil franchise, introduced as one of two playable protagonists in Resident Evil 2. She is the younger sister of Chris Redfield, a member of the elite police unit STARS. Claire has been a crucial figure in multiple games, films, and novels, while a character evolving from a college student to a humanitarian activist. Her initial appearance was in Resident Evil 2. She arrives in Raccoon City on a motorcycle to find her brother Chris, who has gone missing while investigating the Umbrella Corporation. She finds the city is overrun by zombies and is separated from rookie cop Leon S. Kennedy shortly after they meet. She later teams up with a young girl named Sherry Birkin and works to escape the city. After the events of Raccoon City, Claire joins a non-governmental organization called TerraSave, which aids victims in bioterrorism and campaigns against inhumane medical experimentation. This role is a central part of her story in Resident Evil 2 Revelations, where she is kidnapped and forced to survive on a mysterious island. Claire receives one green herb. While not military trained, she is a self-taught survivor who adapted to survive numerous outbreaks. She is also receiving one blue herb, as she has shown great endurance by surviving multiple biohazard incidents and psychological trauma. And lastly, she receives one red herb, as she was crucial in stopping the G-Virus outbreak in Raccoon City by defeating William Birkin. Ada Wong is a recurring character in the Resident Evil franchise, known for her role as a mysterious and enigmatic anti-hero. She was first mentioned by name in Resident Evil 1 in a letter from a researcher who was later introduced as a supporting character in Resident Evil 2. Ada is a mercenary and corporate spy, often hired by various organizations to steal biological weapons and viruses. Her allegiance is often ambiguous, as she frequently betrays her employees for her own mysterious reasons. Ada's character is closely linked to Leon, with whom she develops a complicated relationship. She first meets him during the Raccoon City outbreak, and while initially working with him to steal the G-Virus, she frequently comes in to his aid, blurring the lines between ally and foe. The dynamic continues later on in games such as Resident Evil 4, where she is hired by Albert Wesker to obtain the Las Plagas parasite, but once again ends up helping Leon. Ada receives 2 green herbs, as she has experience training as an operative and specialized expertise in espionage and advanced gadgetry. She also receives 1 red herb for being instrumental in defeating the Osmond Sandler in Resident Evil 4. Rebecca Chambers is a character in the Resident Evil franchise, first appearing as a supportive character in the original Resident Evil and later as the main protagonist in Resident Evil 0. Rebecca is a child prodigy who graduated from college at the age of 18 with her bachelor's degree in chemistry. Her scientific knowledge, particularly in chemistry and medicine, led her being recruited as a field medic for the Raccoon Police Department's Special Tactics and Rescue Services STARS Bravo team. Her first mission with STARS was to investigate a series of murders in the Arcalay Mountains. After the team's helicopter crashes, she finds herself aboard a train called the Ecliptic Express, where she meets and teams up with former Marine Billy Cohen. Together, they navigate the train and a nearby Umbrella Corporation training facility, becoming the only survivors of the incident. Shortly after escaping the training facility, Rebecca arrives at the Spencer Mansion, where she meets up and assists STARS Alpha team member Chris Redfield. Rebecca receives 2 green herbs, one for having training as a STARS field medic, and one for being a genius-level chemist and a virologist. She also receives a blue herb, as she has shown incredible endurance surviving both the Raccoon City incident and the Mansion incident. She is also going to receive a red herb, as she was vital for developing the cure for the A-virus, preventing a global pandemic. And last but not least, Jill Valentine. Jill is one of the original and most iconic protagonists in the Resident Evil franchise. She was first introduced in Resident Evil 1 as a STARS member unit. Before joining the STARS unit, Jill was trained in bombs disposal with the Delta Force. She is known for being brave, intelligent, and loyal. Her skills with weapons and explosives are noteworthy, and she is famously a master of unlocking due to her proficiency with lockpicking. In 1998, Jill and her team were sent to the outskirts of Raccoon City to investigate the disappearance of the STARS Bravo unit colleague. This led to a mansion that was a front to a secret biological lab run by Umbrella Corporation. It was here that she discovered the T-Virus and the creation of a bioorganic weapon, as well as the betrayal of team captain Albert Wesker. A few months after the mansion incident, Jill was still in Raccoon City, where a full-scale T-Virus outbreak occurred. She became the primary target of the Nemesis, a powerful BOW created by Umbrella with the sole purpose of hunting down and eliminating surviving STARS members. Jill receives 2 green herbs. She has formal training as a member of STARS and later the BSAA, and her specialized skills include being a bomb expert and lockpicking. She's also receiving 1 blue herb, as she has shown immense resilience in surviving mind control from Albert Wesker. Along with the blue herb, she is also receiving 2 red herbs, as she defeated Nemesis T-Type in Raccoon City and was instrumental in fighting against Wesker. This puts her as my top pick for someone who I'd want next to my side if the Raccoon City outbreak was actually real. Let me know down in the comments if you guys agree with this list, and also if Jill is your number 1 also.